Hi, it's Paul Arnold. I'm the Sutton Professor, and today I want to talk to you about this book, The Fearless Organisation. And most of you would have come across this concept now called psychological safety. And what is psychological safety? Well, it's this idea that you can fully express your ideas, your thoughts, your feelings without fear of recrimination or intimidation or anything like that. So no one's going to be laughing at you or putting you down or being summoned into the boss's office to say, oh, could you please explain a little bit more about why you said that? So actually, we've got to move into that space because we need that within our organisations right now. Now, some of you would have come across it from the work that Google had done. And basically what Google did, they basically looked at what made for effective teams. And they looked at loads of different attributes and factors to try to get to understand what was the difference that made the difference. And they came down to there are four things that were clear goals, dependable colleagues, personally rewarding work, and belief that work they were doing had impact. But they're all surrounded in this concept of psychological safety, which they're saying is the most important, it's the glue that holds everything together. Now, why do we need that? Because in these VUCA worlds, which means volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous world we're living in, we've got even more difficult problems to solve, and we need to do that through a teamwork. And basically, there's a massive growth in collaboration within teams these days, be it inside the organisation, across the organisation, in different parts of the world, and also with other teams outside as well. So we really need to make sure that it's a space that when people come together, they can feel uninhibited to express any ideas or thoughts which they may have. Now, the trouble is, in the book it says it's very rare. And basically, we could do a lot more to help to improve that. And when you don't have a psychological safety, it means that people shut up. Because it's the safest place to say nothing. And therefore, most people say that at some point in time, they have actually resisted saying something which they think would have been a benefit to have said it. So what happens if you don't have psychological safety? Well, people don't speak up. It kills teamwork, it knocks morale into touch. It also threatens creativity, innovation, and actually commitment towards that workforce. Now, consequently, the opposite side is that when you do have it, there are massive benefits. So there's the engagement that actually people play full out, and therefore they actually not only sort of release their own potential, but help to build the potential of the team. It also means that there's a greater degree of knowledge sharing that's going on, which therefore means there's greater effectiveness, greater innovation, which obviously means that in the long term it trickles down into improved financial returns. So how do you do it? Well, basically they say there are three ways, and basically talking about how leaders do it. Is the first thing they've got to do, they've got to destigmatize failure at all levels. So it's not just saying it's okay for you to go and fail, but to make sure that all those little snippets and those little snide comments and those rolling of the eyes that go on in those meetings and the secret little looks that people give are basically squashed out. The second thing they've got to do, they've got to demonstrate fallibility and humility, and they've got to ask for help. Because the trouble is, if they don't ask for help, by and large, everyone assumes that senior person knows it all. Well, actually, they don't, but they give the aura because they like the aura. So they've got to say, you know what, I don't know everything. And they talk about being don't knowers. So this idea that we've got to invite people and say, give us some help. And the last one is responding positively to that help. So don't just knock it into touch, say, yeah, we tried that back in 1974. But really embrace them, thank them for their contribution, and actually, where possible, see how you can actually make them work, because that's going to create that opportunity where people say, you really do mean what you're saying. Just really going on to my critique book, you know what, it is quite academic, there's lots of cases talked about, which helps to validate the information, rambles a bit. As always in these books, I do think they sort of do overwrite them. It's like one key theme overwritten massive amount of time to fill, 220 pages or whatever. The cases in here, they've got about 3 chapters on cases, and they're very interesting. There's the negative ones of the Volkswagen emission and the Wells Fargo financial scandal, but also the excellent ones of the Pixar and Google X. But I think my biggest criticism of the book is it's heavy on the issue and really light on the solution. I don't really read this book and feel, well, I really know exactly what we're going to do. And it strikes me this is really difficult to go and do. And the final thing, this isn't a magic elixir. It isn't going to solve all your problems. However, that said, I would really emphasize that this as a concept is a really brilliant, great concept, which I think we should all look into and try to do our best. So, would I read the book? Well, you could read my summary instead online. But anyway, the concept of psychology is absolutely critical, and we should all start trying to bring it into our workplace tomorrow. Anyway, thanks for listening. Ciao.